Well, we're back. Car show and tell. Oh, you know who I am. We're still painting wheels. While you were away, I did put a second on this wheel on the inside of the barrel. And the second coat was a nice, heavier coat. If you couldn't tell by the, runs in the paint right there. It was a heavier coat. I wanted to clear over or paint over the staining and whatnot that was on the inside and make sure I had a nice heavy coat to finish the inside of this wheel out. And not worried about those little runs. I'm not worried about those little runs. They're on the inside. Nobody's gonna see them. Let's worry about the outside, right? Let me set you back up here so I can get my gloves on. There we go. Maybe it doesn't fall over. Stop falling over. Aye. There we go. My lovely tripod. We're going to spin this one around. Do the front side. Lay our front side down here on our bucket. I'm not too worried about messing up the paint on the back side, right? Because it's going to sit on this hub face of the wheel. Okay? Which is just eventually going to get screwed to a spare tire rack. It's going to sit on this hub face. It'll just eventually get screwed to a spare tire rack or a hub. And it's going to mess that up anyway. So if it sits on top of this bucket for a little while I paint the front, who really cares? I got a little bit of overspray on here. I'll pick off a little bit of stuff stuck from the bucket. Let me put my gloves on. I'll get my rag with solvent in it. My rag and my solvent, and I'll wipe that down. Rubber gloves. Gotta protect my skin. Keep it nice and coarse. Right. Don't want my hands get too soft. A little bit of solvent left in this cloth. I can wipe this overspray off with. So it doesn't show up in the finish when we spray our wheel. There's a little, there's a little. As I said, this is not a solvent-proof finish. You can definitely take it back off if need be. So don't be afraid to mess it up. Take it off, take it off. Okay. There we go. Looks good. Put this away. Get it out of the way where I don't have to breathe all the mind warping vapors, because my mind has definitely been warped enough already as it is. So that needs to evaporate before I start painting. So let's give it a minute to do that. Alright, we're back. All the solvent is flashed off. It's evaporated off of our wheel. Up on paint again, shaken, not stirred. And we're going to address the front side of this wheel. If you watched along in the last video, we got the back side. So if you missed it, go back and watch. Okay, here are the big concerns when you're painting the front side of a wheel. You want the finish to be nice, even in color, consistency, thickness. Okay. Obviously, these small places here in the wheel, these little cubbies and corners right here, down where the wheel nuts go in, where the lug nuts sit, you know, the area where these coves are. for the lug holes. They're going to be harder to paint right here where your valve stem sits. It's going to be tougher to get paint in those areas. If you just grab the can and you start going back and forth across the face of the wheel, these little parts, these little places, they're not going to be evenly coated. You're going to get a nice coat up here on top of the wheel, on the spokes, on the rim. These little places, they're not going to get much of a coat. And even in here, they're not going to get much of a coat either. So what I like to do is start first by actually going in sort of at an angle from the side like this, working my way around the wheels and making sure that I get a good coat in these hard to reach places here and here and here and inside here, around the inside of these wheel coves, and in here where our valve stem goes. Anyway, after I get that done, I get a nice coat in there. Then I'll go back over the face of the wheel, back and forth, side to side, making sure that I've got a nice finish applied to the face. Any little overspray that I apply, you know, when I get the face of the wheel, it's just going to blend into these areas that I've already painted before. All right, so let's get you set up here. See if I can get you looking down upon this wheel. Loosen that up. Ooh. Bend you over. Not literally. And it's going to fall. Rats. See if I can do this. Oh, this thing's stuck. Alright. Try this here. Still gonna fall over. Man. Come closer, my child. Come closer. We might have great success here. Pardon me while I get this set up. And we're good, I think. I think we're good. Okay. There you are. I'm going to try to work around you. Still in a way that you can see everything that's going on. Okay. This place I'm going to begin is in here. Getting all this nice light coat. And off the bat, just something that's going to grab into that toothed finish from the blaster and, you know, provide a nice mechanical hold for the paint. We're going to sort of think of this as the glue that's going to hold our final coat. We're just going to put a little bit in there. Okay. I'm staying pretty close. I want to try to get as much coverage in there as I possibly can. Okay. Missed the entire area a little bit to finish that off. Now I'm going to start working on my coves here in between the spokes. Doing the exact same thing, just dusting on a nice light coat, working my way around the wheel as I go. This isn't going to be the finished coat. This is just going to be sort of the coat that holds the finished coat. Make sense? No? Yeah. Neither does the rest of my life. So at least I have consistency going for me. There we go. Now, here's where our valve stem goes. So I get down low here. Try to pop some color or some paint down into that before I finish off the rest of this coat. Don't want to put too much paint on in there. Not enough that it makes runs or anything like that. Just want a nice, even, light coat. Yeah, it's no big deal. Now, step you back here for a minute. Looks good from here. You can still see through that first light coat. You can still see some of the stains from the original material of the wheel, like right in there is one. So don't want to go too heavy. Just a nice sort of bonding coat for the next one. Lock you in there, up a little bit. Man, come on. This thing is not very steady. Okay. Now in the last episode here, you watched when the wheel was flipped around, we painted around this edge. Okay? Now that we've got this side down, I want to paint around the outside of the barrel here. While I'm at it, I'm probably also going to throw just another coat on this edge here where it starts to round over towards the face of the wheel. Okay? Now, work my way around with a nice light coat first. Nice even strokes, keeping my paint on target where I want it to lay. And finishing off just like that. Now we're going to give it some time to flash, and I will be back with you once it's set up. All right, we're back. Our first coat's flashed off. It's dry to the touch. So, it's time for us to go about putting our second coat on. Now, let's get you cranked up here again. If I can. And how about that? Nope, we're falling over again. Come on, people. If I don't stay in here with my foot on it, it falls. There we are. Actually, yeah, over the perfectionist I am. Let's do there. Okay. Now that our first coat's dried, what I'm going to do is go back and forth, starting from top to bottom. With our top coat, which is going to be a nice, fairly heavy coat. It should dry up nice and uniform with an even metallic finish and even satin, satin metallic finish. We're going to go around the rim one more time. It's not a sexual reference. I'll finish that up again too. Okay? Make sure my paint's shaken, not stirred. And we'll get started. I'm just going to start at the top and work my way across. We already got all the hard to reach places, so this should lay in, coat everything pretty nice. Actually, how did I do this last time? You know what? I'm going to work around in here. Just give that a nice spray first. Just a light spray again. I'm going to do that. Give that a light spray. Then I'm going to go across the face. Pardon me while I make up my mind what I'm doing. Maybe I just feel like walking around in circles again. I don't know. Back this way. There we go. Not really putting any more paint in these than I did the first time. Just another light coat. Alright. Now let me go across the entirety of the wheel. Make sure that these spoke faces get a nice even coat, as does the wheel rim itself. Alright, one more light coat over everything. Just try to even out any inconsistencies in the metallic finish. And we look good. It's beauteous. Almost looks like it could come from the factory that way. Well done, Tim. Well done. Yeah. Well done, Tim. Good job. Gee, thanks, Tim. All right. Back up here. Yeah. We'll go around our rim, top and bottom. Make sure I get low, like Little John. Just doing that outer lip of the barrel. We want to make sure that that gets painted too. These wheels were nasty and dirty, but otherwise they were in pretty decent shape. After the blasting, they weren't really, they hadn't been run into the curb at all, so there wasn't any curb rash that needed to be fixed and or repaired. So I was glad for that. And much right out of the blaster, a nice quick wipe down, and on to paint. There's a little bit of corrosion in spots where the wheel weights had previously been clamped on. But you know what? I don't care. Like I said, it's a secondary car. It's not a show car. And I'm trying to do this cheap. There we have it. All right, there she is. All done and done. Right now it's got a nice glossy finish on it because it's wet. As this coating flashes off, dries, and sets up, that finish will slowly turn into the light, poor lights down here. It'll turn into the matte finish that we see here. If you want a glossy finish on your wheels, you're going to have to let this coat dry. Then you can go over top of it with a gloss coat in much the same manner as I did. Starting with those little hard to reach areas, getting the gloss to sit in there first, and the insides of the coves of the wheels here, and then going over the entire thing once or twice. Give it a nice even gloss coat. Since I'm not particularly worried about it, this is how it's going to stay. Throw some tires on them, throw them back in the car, get it working again, go down the road. So there you have it, folks. In a nutshell, how to paint wheels. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe, ring the bell, all those other YouTube gizmo things that I don't understand. Leave a comment if you'd like. Love to read it and try to get back to it when I get time. Single dad problems. Well, that's about it. Hope you all enjoy. God bless.